Hello, I'm a junior doctor, and I'd like to try and explain why we are having to strike again for the third time. We feel that the government are continuing to not listen to our grave concerns about their plans for the NHS. This dispute focuses particularly on the contract which they are trying to impose on us this summer. The contract which they have come up with has actually been looked at in considerable detail by doctors and the BMA, and we don't believe it's safe, we don't believe it's fair, we don't even think actually that it can be implemented realistically or logistically. We have significant concerns about how this contract will affect recruitment and retention. We're seeing an exodus of doctors, we're seeing considerable problems with morale amongst junior doctors. We feel completely abandoned by the government, completely ignored. We feel like they have treated us despicably throughout this process, although we would thank the public enormously for their support throughout this, because actually it's been clear from the offset that we have, by and large, a lot of support from public. They understand our concerns, and they appreciate that actually we would not be striking unless we felt it was absolutely necessary. This is not just about money, this is not just about Saturdays and weekends, but they are factors. However, we feel that actually our personal time is effectively being eroded away, and we don't feel that the current number of doctors, which actually will be decreasing because of the current crisis amongst our profession, we don't feel that number can be distributed even greatly amongst a 7-day NHS. We would be encouraging efforts for a 7-day NHS if it meant looking into correctly funding the NHS and looking at other ways of improving the NHS, such as improving funding for social care and other elements of the service which the service relies so heavily on. Jeremy Hunt has come out in the last week and said dementia services must be improved and dementia patients must be seen on 2 ward rounds every day, 7 days a week. Well, actually, the reason why dementia patients are staying in hospital longer is because they become medically fit, and yet we can't discharge them from hospital because there's nowhere to discharge them. This is why we have crises in hospitals. This is why our A&Es are backing up. This is why patients are in the corridors waiting to be seen, because the system is at breaking point. We feel like we're not being listened to. We feel like the government come up with sound bites, but it doesn't mean anything. They need to listen to our concerns. They need to listen to the members of the public who have come out with concerns, the professors and experts who are looking at the rotas and looking at this contract and saying it just doesn't work. You need to go back to the drawing table. You need to negotiate with the BMA again, with junior doctors, listen to what we feel needs to be done, because we know the NHS better than the government. Jeremy Hunt doesn't. Jeremy Hunt doesn't know what he's talking about. He's backing himself into a hole, and he is saving face and looking at his pride and politics over patients and the NHS, and that is simply unacceptable. When 326,000 people sign a petition online to say there should be a vote of no confidence in a Secretary of State, that should be taken seriously, and yet it's just being brushed under the carpet. As a doctor, if we had one serious concern, we would be expected to sit in front of the General Medical Council and explain ourselves, and yet a politician has 326,000 and they get away with it. It's not acceptable. We want the government to listen to our concerns and to get back to us and remove the threat of imposition, look after our NHS, fund a 7-day NHS properly without coming up with ridiculous solutions which clearly do not make any sense. There is overwhelming negativity with what the government is doing to the NHS at the moment, and quite frankly, they need to listen. Junior doctors are standing up for the whole system because It may be us now, but it's all the other healthcare staff next, and it's unacceptable. Please support junior doctors. Please write to your MPs. Please hold this government to account. They don't know what they're doing with your NHS. Thank you.